Today, we're here to recognize and honor our generous donors and to celebrate a sampling of the inspiring recipients of our foundation awards.
The foundation, and specifically you as donors, are intimately involved in the success of our work. Simply put, our common goal or our common work is about changing lives for the better. That's the work that we do here.
We had a student who was in her final quarter of her degree, and due to various circumstances, she and her 3 children, who were, I think, elementary age and younger, were not in an ideal situation. And obviously, she wanted to finish school, but her and her children's, needs come first. And because of the Finish Line Fund, we were able to provide them with, safe and appropriate living quarters, some money for food. And because of that, the student was able to keep her kids in school, which gave her the time to come and complete her degree, and she graduated that quarter. Their work is incredibly valuable to our student population, and that I think it would be fantastic if they could hear from them directly and kind of en masse. Individual stories are great, but I wonder if they saw the totality of the students that they helped, how, if they would see how much what they do matters. And while I think everybody's grateful, there is still such a need for more financial assistance.
I took 4 students from PC this March, 3 that were funded by the foundation, and 1 that funded herself. She went last year funded by the foundation, and she said, "I'm going back, and I'll pay for it myself if I have to." And we had enough funding for 3, so she just funded herself. And one of our students from this year, she really got into it. She really took to the data entry collection part of it, and she's been selected by the director. He sent her data. She's going through the data. She's analyzing the data. She's going to put together a poster, and she's going to present that at an international conference this summer. It's taking place down in Texas. So last year I took a student who presented a poster. The year before I took a student who presented a poster. I have a number of students that have gotten publications, some of them smaller, some of them bigger. So that's, my ultimate goal is to provide these opportunities. If you look at what we're about, it's education, opportunity, and enrichment. And the education part of it, we can do it, but we can do it better if we have access to some resources. And the foundation does that. They provide us with some funding that we couldn't normally get. I get funding. My research team writes grant proposals all the time, and we get funding to pay for things like equipment. Peninsula College doesn't have to pay for a boat and radio tracking equipment. Peninsula College couldn't afford that. But on the other hand, these grants, it's hard to get a grant to support travel for students, and the foundation does that for us. And it isn't just me doing science. It's journalism. It's Rich Rizkai from journalism taking students to New York to live journalism, right? And you could just go on and on. The writing that goes on here. Some of the writers in our English department, drama, that goes on, art, world-class art, and our students get to take part in that, and a lot of it's because the foundation helps to fund it.
The mission of the alumni program, I think succinctly put, is, in a full circle way, it's giving back to the future. And all that means is that there's a group of people who had an opportunity. They came to Peninsula College. They seized that opportunity. They went off. They lived their lives. And then it's making that connection to them that Peninsula College is still here. We're still doing that. We're doing it for other students. And what was done for you can be done for them, but only if we keep that loop going and we keep giving back so that we can give to the future. We keep giving back so we can give to the future. The people are worth investing in, and people's dreams and futures are worth investing in.
We came up with the idea that as a first graduating class, we should do something. If you take the thousands and thousands and thousands that have graduated from Peninsula, and everyone sent you $50, I mean, you'd have an enormous amount of money. To me, it's not the big gifts, which are, really move the needle, but once you get these donor bases established, and people get used to, okay, every year they give 50, every year they give 100, and it just keeps growing and growing. We have a responsibility and an obligation, I think, to support the foundation. I would like to see students who would not otherwise have an opportunity to attend college have the door opened so that they can do it. And it'll change their entire life. It'll change their children's lives. It just keeps growing and giving. So
when I got the scholarship this summer, I was homeless. I had aspirations, I had hopes, and I'm clean. I have a beautiful home. I go to church regularly. I have good grades. I have a part-time job doing, I'm volunteering at a physical rehabilitation clinic, and I've got my life back on track. And it's not because of me I did that. I didn't accomplish that by myself. It's people like you who helped me get through that. People like you helped me get through that. Surely without people like you, I would have given up a long time ago. I wouldn't be here today if it weren't for people like you. Thank you.